Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and first off what we're going to do is kind of go over, this is just part of the suggestions that I got when I asked you what was some of the things that you might have laying around at home that you wanted to see, me make something with if I had it. And normally most everything on here that you have listed I have. Now some of these things I have done many videos on, and I will try to link some of those when it comes to that particular question or that particular answer. But I'm just going to go over a few of these. I'm not going to read every one. I'll leave the link where you can go and read over these if you'd want, and where you can leave suggestions of your own. So one of them is making a journal with 12 by 12 single-sided paper. Now we have done that 2 or 3 times, probably just in the last year, so I'm going to link those. It's not hard at all. I use the AJ kits. Most all of those come with 12 by 12 paper and they're single-sided, so I use those to make journals out of them, and I'll show you in the video how I cover the back or how I decorate the back that is plain. So I'll leave those links below on some of those videos. Now I had quite a few, and I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I probably had about 15 comments about scripture, prayer, gratitude journals. I will tell you, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek hint. We have a collaboration coming up with a few artists where we will be using, and it'll be a combination of kits. It'll be mine and Melina's, and then the other people that are in the collaboration. We're going to combine some kits, and they're going to be scripture-based related. They're going to be scripture, prayer-related, Bible-related, that kind of thing. So that collaboration will be coming up, probably maybe the end of the month, where we can give you more information on that. So that's going to take care of all of you who are asking about scripture, devotional journals, prayer printables, all of that kind of thing. So let's see. I had some particular ones that I wanted to closures for journals. Now I don't normally do that many closures for my journals, but I'll be happy to show some different closures. A gardening journal. Now that we just completed a gardening journal. We did the collaboration with Rach and Bella Crafts with their gardening digital. So I will try to remember to link that below. Wax seal crochet doilies. Okay, we can show how we use those. Composition notebooks used to make journals. I have not made a lot of those, but Betty makes tons. She uses composition notebooks to make tons of journals and things out of. So you might want to check her channel out. It's always linked below. Tabs with fabric, file folder journals. I've made those. Ephemera from stencil designs or stamps. We've made those, but there again, I'm going to be making some of this, even though we have made some of them. Index cards, we will be using more of those. Let's see, wooden buttons, thick embellishments, to show you how I use those. More wax seals, Bible-based journals. So we had lots of people that wanted either Bible-based, faith-based, just some journals that had maybe Bible scripture, or where you could keep your Bible scripture and things on. So we'll definitely be doing that in the collaboration. Let's see, 5 by 7 envelopes to make a journal. Now I will be doing that. I've done a couple of those, but I'll be showing you how to do that again. Paint swatches. Now I don't have at the present time any paint swatches, but I can go to my Lowe's and pick up a few. But I can give some ideas on how I would use those. Let's see. Playing cards. A lot of people ask about playing cards. I've got some of those, so I'll definitely go over that. Let's see, piano rolls. Now I use my piano roll that I have in my journals, but I'll show you again how I use them and how you can use them in different ways. 6 by 6 paper pads. decorative napkins, watercolors and paints, desert themed journal, doilies, just tons and tons of ideas here. Now I chose one for today, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure this is what she meant, but I had been thinking about doing a video using chipboard or corrugated fiberboard, as my husband would say, because he retired from a paper company that made cardboard boxes or corrugated fiberboard. He would strangle me if he knew I said cardboard, because he said no, it is not cardboard, it is corrugated fiberboard. But anyway, I will show how I've been wanting to play with that anyway, because we have tons, as you can imagine. We get boxes in just about every day of product, and usually we try to recycle and reuse, but sometimes they're too big and we can't. So been wanting to use some of these for a while. So I think we're going to start out with this one. This is from Lori Fitzgibbon, I think, 3085. And I'll put her name here on the screen. And she just says cardboard. I tore the textured side of cardboard shipping envelope off, and now I need ideas. Okay. So, Lori, I'm not sure if this is what you meant or not, but this is what we're going to do. And if it's not what you meant, just leave another suggestion. Now, this is just a box that came in, a shipping box. You can see it's got some old tape here. I'm going to peel this side off because I don't want that tape on there. Now, you can peel these complete, or you can peel just pieces of them. And I'll tell you, if you spray these with a little bit of water, just spritz them with water and let them kind of dry just a little bit. They're much easier to peel, but I don't have any patience to let things dry, so I'm just going to peel mine. I don't worry about if all of it comes off or not, because that doesn't bother me. Now, this part I do keep, and I'll show you what we do with that. So, let's see. Also, these pieces, if you've got some larger pieces, these pieces make great journal covers for the front and the back and the spine of your journal. Now, I'm not going to worry about all of that coming off. Doesn't bother me. Not going to worry about it at all. And if it's, stuck up in there like that, I'm just going to press it down in there. Not going to worry about it. There we go. Now, I think I'll make a tag out of this, and I'm going to use a piece from here so that it'll have part of the corrugated part showing and part not. So let's go ahead and, I think my trimmer will cut this, I believe. I cut a piece earlier with my craft knife, but I'm not too great with a craft knife, so I'm going to try this. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have to hold it. There we go. Very still. And that's wide enough. I don't need one any wider. Now, it's got a little bend in it right there where the box actually bent. This is off of the lid. I'm going to cut that off because I don't need a tag any taller than that. And I'll just use that for some other type of embellishment. You could, if you wanted a taller tag, you could leave it and just reinforce that part to make it a little taller, but it doesn't bother me. And I'll use that for something else. Now, what we're going to do on here, I'm going to use some various inks to kind of color this up. You don't have inks, if you don't, you can use paint. You can use whatever you have in your stash. I am just going to use some different inks, I think. And this first one, we're going to kind of start out kind of slow and easy and see what we come up with. I'm going to use this distress paint. It's Picket Fence from Tim Holtz. I'm pretty sure we still have this in stock. And I am just taking the lid off. I'm not going to pour it out on there. I'm going to use just a paper towel. And then I'm just going to paint it on just a little bit. Now, you can do this in various steps. I'm just going to do it in whatever step I want to, but you could ink this first and then do your steps. I'm just, you know me, I just do whatever comes in mind first. But this is some very cheap, inexpensive embellishments for your journals, because this basically costs you nothing. And I know a lot of us have cardboard boxes and things laying around, and we get them in the mail and all of that, so this is just a way to use them up and not throw them in the trash. Okay, I think that's enough white. And if you see little white flecks on my hand, yes, I have been spraying a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to be the white color that I needed. I'd like to color around it a little bit with a different color. So let me grab a different color ink. Now, I need to let this dry, but guess what? I'm not. I am just going to tip this very lightly. If I get paint on this, then I won't dip it back in here. I'll just throw it away and grab another. But I think we're going to be good. I'm not going to go down in there where the paint is still wet. I used to make these all the time when I did larger journals, but I haven't done any in a while, and I had a bunch of this laying around. I thought, I need to use that. And then somebody suggested it, so, well, I think she did anyway. Hopefully this is what she was talking about. Okay. Now we just kind of tip that with the color. I love broken china, don't you? That's such a pretty color. Now I want something, some little something in the background. I don't want it all covered, but I do want some little something in the background. So let's see, maybe a little piece of book page. I may tear that down a little bit and have a piece of book page on there. This is a very old book page. We can put that right there. Then I think, let's see, what else do we want to put on there? I might put one of these little advertisements. This was one of the freebies not too long ago. I don't remember how long, but not too long ago. Let's see if I've got one that I want to use. I don't want it to be too big. See, that one would cover too much. I don't want to use that one. I think I might just cut this one out and use it. So I'll cut this part out because you don't need to see me cut this. But just, you can use whatever you've got in your stash. Don't worry about having to get anything else. This is making free ephemera using chipboard or corrugated fiber board. Now we're going to ink around this with some of our scorched timber, and I'm going to ink around this scorched timber. I just want it to look very, very old and worn. Okay, so we'll put that about right there, and then maybe this piece there, like that. Then we still have some of that background showing, and I like that. Now, let me tell you, I didn't do it on this one. I did it on one that I was playing with a minute ago. If you don't like the thickness of this, I mean, it's not very thick, but you see it's got a little bit of air in there. Just take something heavy. I've got this old piece of rolling pin, and then press it down. And just press that air out of those little pockets. And it will flatten that out a little bit more to where there's not as much dimension, as you can see. So you can do it either way, doesn't matter. Just thought I would show you that. And if you don't have a little rolling pin, just use a glass or whatever you have that you could roll it out with. Just make it a little bit flatter. I think we're going to kind of go that route right there. And then we'll do some other things to it, I think. Let's see, I better use my glue stick, because this paper is very, very thin. Let's see. Trying to decide if I'm going to put a little bit of string behind that. I do have some string here. This is just string from my sewing machine. Now, if you don't want the white, no problem. Take your dauber color it up. And it's sticking to my fingers because I've got glue all over my fingers. See, we no longer have white. Oh, come on now, quit sticking to my fingers. You're driving me crazy. All right, I'm going to put that down right there. There we go. It's good enough. Okay. Put this piece down, and I'm just going to let that string peek out a little bit around it. Move it over just a little. Now you can do something else, and I don't do it on mine, but you can. You can take a little ball pen thing like this and just press this down into the grooves if you want. I have seen people do that. I don't normally do that. I just leave mine as is, but that's up to you. If you want it to look more textured, you can just take it and press it down into those little grooves. Make sure this sticks well up here. Okay. Now I just cut the little hairs off there, the little extras sticking out. Don't want those on. And now let's see, I'd like to have a little label of some kind on there. And I have this little blue one. I'm not sure if that would... I really want it up here, I think. But... it says Liverpool on it. Maybe I want it right there. Truthfully, I don't know where I want it, but I'm trying to get it to a point where it kind of connects everything, but yet doesn't take away from, you know, the face on here and that kind of thing. So I think we'll put it right there, maybe. Just going to wrap it to the back. We're going to cover that back anyway, since this is going to be a tag. Now, I didn't ink the edges of that, and I probably should have. So I'm going to take my little dauber. I'm going to do this. So there is that. I don't think I'm going to cut it in a tag shape. And I don't think this will, no, that won't do it. So I think what we'll do is just snip the edges like that. And I'm not going to be too particular if they're not exactly the same. Doesn't bother me. Close enough is close enough to me. That just gives it a little bit more of a finished look than having it kind of squared off, if you know what I mean. Then we'll go around the edges again like this. Now, once this dries in here, that won't be quite as dark as that, but I like that okay. I'm going to put a little bit more glue right here. Now this is a very simple one. You can get more elaborate with these if you want, but to me that's a simple one and I like it. We can put a little piece of fabric at the top. Let me see if I've got a little piece of fabric over here that I can put at the top. Make a topper out of. I think I do somewhere. I do. I happened to tear some of this today. I think that's a little bit wide, so I'm going to tear it down just a tiny bit. Don't want it quite that wide. Now what I'm going to do is, and I cut both of those the same direction. That was not smart, was it? Do it again. There we go. What I'm going to do is use my stapler, and I'm just going to staple that right there, and then we'll cover the back. So I'm just going to use my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. We also have those in the store if you don't have one. There we go. I'm going to put 2 staples in it just to be sure. Now, I kind of like that look. It's a rugged look and I like it. Right. And then I think I'll cover the backs later. You guys know how to cover the back. I'm just going to put some of that drawing paper that I like to use on the back. And this little guy is finished. I'm going to trim just a little bit of this off right here. Seems to be a little bit bigger. There we go. So it's basically finished. You could continue on and do different things with it if you wanted. You could put a little piece of lace down here at the bottom to give it a little bit more texture. Let's see. I might trim that down and put a little piece right there at the bottom. This is just a little scrap I had on my desk. Put a little piece right there. So this is just a bunch of different ways that you can use chipboard and things that you have laying around. It doesn't have to be corrugated chipboard. It can be any kind of chipboard. The corrugation on this, I think, just gives it more interest. But if you don't have this, if you don't get boxes, which I can't imagine anybody not getting a box, believe me, I wish I could send you a ton of them, because we find ourselves around here with so many, we don't know what to do with all of them. But just use what you have in your stash. This is just a free way to make some ephemera. Make some pretty, I think pretty, embellishments, journal cards, tags, pockets. We'll make a pocket here in a minute. Okay, let's press that down. Now I think the lace looks good when it's pressed down in the little grooves. So we'll do that. So there is that one. Just a little cheap, inexpensive, well, really it didn't cost me anything, card. Let's go ahead. I started this one a minute ago, and I was just playing around with it, and I thought, I need to wait and do that on video. So let's put some pink on this. Now this is saltwater taffy. The reason I get some of these, I don't purchase them from the store. I get some of these that we can't sell, that maybe they've leaked or they've got a little break place in them, and I keep them for myself. I keep them for the stash because I can't sell them. So that's why I have these. I just, ooh, why's that got a little blue thing on top? Oh, that's the, never mind. That's the little seal on it. So I've got a little white on this one, and I've got a little ink on it. So we're going to put a little bit, ooh, a little bit of this pink, and then my seal came off. I call it pink. It's more of an oceany coral, I think. Just want a few places that are a little bit darker. And you can use your paintbrush. You don't have to use a paper towel. I just use a paper towel because then I just throw it away. I don't have to get up and clean my paintbrush. I know, I'm lazy. Lazy. Well, I'm not so much lazy. I just save myself time where I can, if you know what that's like. I have to spread out my time and save as much as I possibly can. So there's that one. Now, normally, normal people would let this dry before doing anything to it. I'm going to go ahead and go around it with my saltwater taffy. I'm going to go ahead and go around it with my scorched timber. I cannot talk. And I hope you guys seen my update for my YouTube channel. Hopefully that will just give me a little bit more time as far as the things that I have to do around here. It's going to give me a little bit of time to spend with my family since it's coming up spring, and I've got a granddaughter graduating college, and then I've got two grandkids that are going to be out for the summer, and they'll be over here a lot, and it's just going to give me some more time to do other things around here. But you'll still be getting videos, just not every day. I just can't do the everyday thing for a while, at least until winter sets in, and then I don't really, I don't mind it then. All right, now what are we going to put on here? I think, again, I want to start out with a little piece of book page. And I'm going to tear that down because I don't really want one that big. And this little book is so old. And if you mind getting ink all over you, then this is not the job for you. Or you can wear gloves. I don't mind. It washes off. long as I don't get it on my clothes, I'm good. I don't have my apron on right now. Okay, I think we'll put that over there. Now this is still pretty wet, and normally I wouldn't go ahead and work with it being wet, but I'm going to right now. I've got that little piece of lace that I think I can just lay there behind that. And then I think I'm going to put a little something up here, and then I think I'm going to put a flower on it maybe. Okay, I'm thinking this is how it's going to come together. We'll see. Who knows if I want to add anything else or not. Okay, I'm going to start by putting some things down, and we'll just kind of see if we feel like we need to add something else. I'm going to put this lace down first. Everything's sticking to my fingers because I've got so much glue on them. $16.94 is what that says right there. Wow. It's an oldie. I'm about out of this glue, and I need to refill it and then put a little bit of acetone in it. I've got this little piece of eyelet trim that was just laying on my desk. We're just going to put that right there at the bottom. And I may end up pulling it up a little bit and putting our other piece under there. I don't know. I'm going to put that right there. I'm just going to use this. Now when you're using this chipboard, really you should let it dry, like I said. And you're going to have to use plenty of glue because it doesn't like to glue down. Now I'm going to flatten this out. Now I'm just going to run over it with my little piece of a brayer here. This is not really a brayer. It used to be an old vintage rolling pin, and it had another end on it, and it broke off, and I got it probably at a thrift store somewhere, I don't know, but it makes a really good rolling brayer. There, I like that. Kind of pressed everything in. And now let's see if we've got a flower that we can put on there. That one, it's going to cover my entire label. Let's see. I could bring it down. No, I don't want to bring it down though. I'm trying to figure out how I can. There, you can see my label there. I may just have to lose a little bit of this one. But I kind of like that on there with that background. So let's see if we can get this backing off and get it down. Now I don't know how this is going to stick on there, especially since it's a little bit wet. I may have to add glue later. But right now we'll just do it as is. Later, if I have to add glue, I just have to add glue. I'm going to pull that up. Let's see. First I'm going to chop the end of this off a little bit. Pull that up. Stick that down in there. Come on now. You can do it. Get down in there. Oh, please stick where I want you to stick. Okay, it's going its own way, so that's fine. We'll just let it go. That's fine because I can see more of the label now anyway. Not a problem. Sometimes they have a mind of their own. Now when I put a backing on this, it's going to be much sturdier, and when it dries, it will definitely be sturdier. I am going to lose a little bit of that flour, but that's okay. Again, I'm just going to run over it with this. It helps glue everything down. But you still keep your textured background there. I like that. Okay. I am liking that. Now, right here, you know what I want? I haven't put any of this on anything in a while, and it's time to get started back. Yep. Some bling. I have not used this in a little while. Let's see. Let's put it on this side. You know, when you've got quite a few different things, it's just hard to remember what to use and what not to use on certain projects. Can't use everything, of course. even though I'd like to. I like that. I really like that. Now this one, I think I am going to cut in a little tag shape. And then I'm not going to go too far with it, but I'm just going to put a little bit of a tag shape on each side. Like that. This one a little bit more maybe. There we go. Good enough. I like that. Now, what do we want to put at the top? Do we want to put another one of these? Is that going to be too many different colors? I don't think so. I think I'm going to do it. No, you know what? I see something. I see a piece of trim I have right here. Let's see what this would look like. I'm not liking that as much because it's got one side that's right and one side that's wrong, so no, don't want that. I think we'll just go with this. You could always stamp on this if you don't want just this color. You can stamp on it or color it. Do whatever you'd want. Look at there, I cut them the same again. For some reason, that's a problem with me. There we go. And now I am just going to staple that right there. And I've got flowers stuck to my stapler. And then we'll cover the back. And so that'll cover up those staples. And when this gets dry, like I said, it will lay down. It's not going to lay down right now because it's not dry, but when it gets dry, it will. I'm just going to fray a little bit of that. There we go. So there's another. These are fun. I don't know if you guys have made any of these or not, but these are fun. All right, let me cut another piece. I don't know what I did with my other one. Cut another piece here. I think I'll try to cut this end off first. Oops. You have to hold it pretty good to keep it from sliding when you put it in your trimmer. Okay. Now, let's see what we want to do with this one. I would like to do... What color? What about a green? This is Rustic Wilderness. I don't even remember having this color in the shop at all. I don't know if somebody sent it to me. I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this for the background first. This is just using some scorched timber in the background. Just kind of darken it up a little bit. Okay. And I don't mind those little pieces being there. So let's see if we can use a little bit of this. Wow, this is a bright color. I know I don't have an ink pad like this. But I kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and press it down. Oh yeah, I like that. I don't think we need any more of that since that's so bright. I think we might put a little bit of the white on there just to kind of tone that down a little bit. There we go. I think I'm going to cut out one of these smaller tags and we're going to kind of incorporate that in there somehow. These were, I think, a freebie on either the coffee or the Ko-fi site. I don't remember which. Okay, let me get a little piece of book page because I always like to put some book page on there. Let's use a little piece of that. Maybe, yeah. This is so brittle, it's just breaking right in my hand. Very, very old book. Or page. I don't have the whole book, I have a page. I want that torn a little bit straighter. Not quite straight, but just a little bit better than that. So let's do that. Now I'm going to try to incorporate another piece of this on here. We'll see if it works. We can smush both of them down so it's not like it's going to be too thick for our journal. Sorry, I just had a sneezing fit in case I sound different. Now you can run your chipboard either way. I just done mine this way for now, but you can run your little things that way if you want. It doesn't matter. I am going to color it this way maybe. Now let's go ahead and smush that down. And I'm going to put some scorched timber around it. Okay. Now I'm just going to be laying this out. I don't have a clue if it's going to be how it's going to end up. I am going to touch this with just a little bit of the green off of here. Don't want much, just a little bit. And my paper towel is still nice and wet, so okay, we'll do that. Then, where's my tag? I wish my tag was a little bit smaller, but it's not, so we're going to use it anyway. And I'm going to put a button or something right there to cover that up. So let's do that. And then I want some little skinny lace. Just tiny, tiny. Here we go, right here. I think I want a little piece up there. And a little piece at the bottom, maybe. Don't know if I cut that the right length, but we're going to leave it. Let's see, maybe a little piece down here, a little piece up here to just kind of bring all that together. And then we'll put a button here. All right, I'm going to take another little tiny piece of book page. I feel like I need something in there to kind of bring it, I don't know what you call it, full circle. Kind of bring it together. Have you guys been having storms? I know some of you said that you had tornadoes in your area. We're supposed to get some bad weather tonight. I hope we don't have any tornadoes, but we're supposed to get some bad weather. Okay, now I need something else. Put one thing on and it calls for something else, doesn't it? I think I like that one better. Ooh, my fingers are sticking to them and they keep sliding everywhere. Now I want a couple of little stamps. This one's going to have a lot of things going on. I need a couple of stamps. Let's see. I think I actually want a kind of a reddish stamp maybe. Let's see what that looks like. I think that one will work. And then maybe a green one. This one says Pittsburgh. This one was actually in a stamp collector's book because it's got that little piece of tape on the back of it. Tuck that in there, that over there. Okay, so far, I know this looks like a big mess, but so far, so good. Now let me grab my buttons. Okay, I have this lady right here. I was looking for my Tim Holtz people, but I have no idea what I've done with them. I have this lady, and she's a little bit too big, so I'm going to trim her down some. I don't know what I've done with my Tim Holtz people. I know I've got them somewhere, but who knows? I've got them in a safe place, I'm sure. It's just that I can't find where that safe place is right now. That's very crooked. Right there. I wanted it to look a little rugged, but not quite that rugged. Let's see if that works. Yes, that works. Okay, let's start inking around some things and putting them down because they're all sticking to my fingers and I'm going to forget how I want them to go. Let's go ahead and put this down because it's every time I touch it, it's tearing a little bit more. Ugh, like that. Let's see if we can get it down without tearing it completely up. Have any of you guys seen The Beekeeper? Jason Statham. Now, I love him in movies. It had, I think, too many ugly words in it. But, you know, if you can kind of get past the ugly words, it's a very good movie about scammers and things and how he kind of takes care of them. I would have liked to have had him around when I got scammed and got everything taken away. Because he takes care of them. Bless his heart. This little old lady had befriended him, and I'm not going to give it away, but I'm just going to tell you bits and pieces of it. This little lady had befriended him, and he said it was the first time in his life that anybody had taken care of him, and she had let him have him a room in her big barn and where he could make his honey and, you know, take care of his honeybees and all of that. She was just a sweet person. And then, you know, she got scammed, and it kind of escalates from there. But he takes care of them in the end. It hurt him so bad. But I won't tell you any more of it. You'll just have to watch it. But you know, you are going to have to deal with some really ugly words. I mean, I felt like it had way too many in it, but I kind of tried to ignore those for the theme of it because it was very good. I gotta get another towel, sorry. That towel has got ink all over it and my hands are so sticky. So yeah, it was good. I have no idea if this is the way I had it a minute ago. I just love watching him in movies anyway. He's such a good actor and he's so serious, and I don't know, he just seems like a kid that I'd love to I mean, he's not a kid, I know, but he just seems like a kid I'd love to just grab a hold of and take care of. That's the way I do. Okay, let's put that under there. I am having a sticky time right here. Yeah. Just have a lot of cleanup here when it's all over with. Don't stick to my fingers, stick to the thing. Alright, let's put her down there. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze enough out of this to put our lace down. I should just stick my fingers on there. It would definitely hold it. Oh my word. And I'm putting it on here because I don't know exactly where I want to put it. So let's just kind of, let's see, about right there maybe? Yeah. That will work. And then the other one down at the bottom, so I know where I want to put it. Now when this dries, I will definitely have to go back and add a bit more glue, but I don't have patience to wait for it to dry. Patience is not my virtue. Okay. Now let's see if we can do this little piece. And the only reason I feel like I need this little circle is because right here you got all these points coming together, and sometimes if you just kind of offset it with something, to me it does a little better, makes it look a little more cohesive. May not mean a thing in the world, but to me it does. Now we've got a little bit of height over here, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to put my little stamps under there and call it finished. Just don't want to cover her up. She's kind of our focal point there. Put Pittsburgh under there. Now let's see if we can rub the whole thing down without messing anything up, hopefully. Okay, now I want to grab a button, at least one here and maybe a little one down here to put on there. Okay, I think I'm going to put this little yellow one up here and that little square green one there. Now, you can put thread in these if you want. I'm not going to worry about it right now. But you can thread them and make a little bow in them and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to leave mine. Not a biggie. I love this little square green one. That's cute. And the reason I use that yellow is because that flower's got a little bit of yellow right in the middle. And we're just going to put that one right there. Like that. Okay. That one is finished, other than I'm just going to square the little corners off. Just snip them. Alright, we've got that one. I'm going to go ahead and put another one of these on there. I just happen to like these. It's just like canvas fabric that I had in my stash, and I used it today when I made a journal cover. So this is just some that I had left. Just going to put a couple of staples in there, and then when we cover the back, those staples will be covered. Okay, let me see if I can find all three of them, and I'll show you. Let me see if I can find all three of them, and I'll show you what we made. And then I may go back on this one and add something. You know, you could add a button to this one too. Some kind of button. If you want it, I may go back and add something to that one later. But right now, I think that's all I'm going to do to them. I like that. Whoops, that slid over a little bit. There we go. I like that. Something different and inexpensive. I mean, I didn't pay anything for these. Most all of this was given to me. That's thread from my sewing machine. This is cardboard from our boxes that we get in. Buttons were gifts. Stamps were gifts. This came out of one of my digitals, I do believe. And then this was given to me. So really cost nothing. Very cheap, inexpensive, and they're going to make beautiful tags in some journals. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll give this a try, and if you do, make sure that you go over and share it on our Facebook page. That link is always below, as well as the link to our store where you can purchase any of these products that I used today that we still have in stock. I think we still have most everything that I showed today. But we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.